Alton Towers have been investing a lot recently into brand new rides and attractions, and also some older ones. There's a brand new ride under construction in Forbidden Valley, and there's also a brand new attraction under construction near Forbidden Valley, and one that's yet to start construction too. An old ride is being worked on behind closed doors, but I've still managed to get a sneak peek for you. Sort of. And there's a huge area that looks like it could be being used for something very soon. All that and more happened when I last visited Alton Towers. You thought I was going to say this past week in theme parks, didn't you? Not today. No, this is an Alton Towers video only. If you do go on to enjoy this video and you want to see more updates in the future, then please be sure to subscribe to the channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. So then, what has happened over at the Towers of Alton? I really do miss calling it the Alton Towers Resort and Spa. Anyway, as you can tell from the very long string of things I listed in the intro, they have been very hard at work on many different updates across the park. There's even been some smaller things that I noticed as well, you know, Nemesis Reborn, the teeth around the monster eye actually do move slower now. They used to like ping up like, huh? But now they slowly rise as the ride comes past. They look a lot more natural. My teeth don't move like that. Maybe it's not so natural. And around the ride as well, they have been digging up lots of different holes to make water pipes. Like I said in the previous video, the waterfalls are coming back. Watch this space. And if you are looking over at Nemesis, if you turn your vision 180 degrees round, I'm just facing a wall. There is something right opposite Nemesis that is under construction, and I'll talk about that soon. Either way, if you take a rather long trip down to Dark Forest through the gardens, trying not to fall over, you know, going through the gardens, swimming across the lake, you can actually find yourself to the side of Dark Forest right here, where Darkest Depths is currently. And this is actually one part of a two-part construction update I'm about to reel off, because the building that Darkest Depths is in should be getting completely flattened soon to make way for a brand new attraction building space that looks exactly the same as survival games from Thorpe Park. As with that version, it's going to have containers on either side and a massive marquee looking bit in the middle. A perfect space for another scare maze. That is the rumour going around, that this will be a scare maze for Scarefest, because of course the ruins, the towers, are very old and historic, and apparently the rumour going around for that is that they can no longer build inside those ruins, which means the two that are already in there, bye-bye. Getting rid of two scare mazes means they're going to have to make two more, because as much as that one hasn't started construction just yet, there is another one in the park that very much has, because there is soon to be one located right next to the Curse at Alton Manor. There was some planning permission that went in, and I've talked about it before, but that area has been now completely flattened, and there's actually a concrete path and footing for that area. They're going to have an exit and entrance path from just opposite the loos, which, can you imagine just coming out the toilet at the other end by accident and just seeing that queue line and being like, oh, gotta go in a scare maze now. I think they will block that exit of the toilets off. But they have done a lot of work there, and they've completely flattened that area, as I said, very much waiting for those containers to be put on. And you actually have to go down a little bit of a dip under the monorail to get to those toilets, or this new scare maze entrance. And the pathways are very thin that they've built, so I would assume if they do block off the toilets, they'll just have the queue and entrance underneath that monorail path. It would make sense. But the most important question of all is the one that we get to speculate about. What is this maze going to be themed to? Because it's slap bang in the middle of the Curse at Alton Manors area, and also the Phalanx facility, Forbidden Valley. So what could this be themed to? Will it be Emily Alton or John Dalton? We don't know. I have no idea what the other one will be themed to, I can't lie. But that is very exciting, and I'll keep you updated on that in future, as I will with Hex, the Legend of the Towers. And that is set to reopen this year, as confirmed by Bianca Sammet, the divisional director, and also the park itself. But we still haven't really seen much happening around Hex, have we? Well, if you didn't notice before, the queue line for the ride outside has actually been updated. You used to enter through the gate at the bottom and sort of just walk up those stairs to the ride, but now it's purely moved about 3 meters to the left, and you enter through here, which will then take you to a sort of merge point where you can go off to either fast track, ride access pass, or the main entrance. And I think that works really well. It saves having 3 different entrances for a ride that definitely eats through a queue and also hardly gets one. And with how tight fit that queue line is, that is a perfect way to section it off into those 3 different queues. There seems to be no signage that's been updated, or we don't even know when the ride's going to open. We're halfway through the year, please. But something I did notice was when I was walking around the tower's ruins, I was doing some excavation. That's not the word. I was exploring, expecting to see some form of hex movement. It's inside a building, I don't know what movement I was expecting to see. But I realised that they actually have that long corridor of queue inside that you can sort of see through the blacked out windows. So I had a cheeky look in those windows, and as much as I said, they are blacked out so you can barely see anything, there was actually some blue lighting in there that was shining and was turned on. What does that mean? Is the ride testing? Are those lights always on and I'm just being stupid? Or does this mean that they are very close to having this ride ready for some time in the future this year? But yeah, it is pretty much impossible to see if this thing is going to start running at all, because the only way you'd be able to hear it is if for some reason the room spinning made a really loud squeaky noise. But seeing those lights on and seeing the queue updates was rather cool, I guess. But can I tell you about something that's not very cool, I guess? Empty space in a theme park, because X Sector still has a very empty plot of land right at the bottom where I guess Enterprise and, oh god, Spin Jam used to be. It's all gated off, and I've seen management down there sort of wandering around, but what's going to happen to that area? There's been no construction yet, so I wouldn't get too excited for a brand new flat ride that will open like later this year or anything. I would genuinely think that, jokes aside, this might become more of a picnic and eating area, at least for this year anyway, because we actually saw at the start of the season a food and hygiene rating for all of the different food outlets at the park, and we saw a couple in X Sector. I think there was fish and chips, smash burgers, and a couple other ones as well, and we did think those would be up at the start of the season, but maybe they're doing them for the summer, you know. So in the summer, X Sector is going to have more food places than rides. That is crazy. But yeah, it's all just blocked off at the minute and there's nothing really happening, so a couple food stalls in there would make a lot of sense. And then maybe next year or over the winter, they might install a couple flat rides instead. I pray for that to happen anyway. We can speculate about that as much as we want to, but something we don't have to speculate about is the brand new ride in Forbidden Valley, Ripsaw 2. Because over in Forbidden Valley, they have actually started construction on this brand new flat ride, and it is moving along very quickly. They've already begun digging up bricks from the floor and sort of paving the new pathway for where that tunnel is going to go with the flat ride above it. Of course, that new ride does have a construction period of 15 weeks, but I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if it's already finished before that 15 weeks is up. And it looks like, despite the name of the project being Project Ocean, that it's going to be Phalanx themed. What? Never saw that happening. They're deep into construction on Project Ocean anyway. Do you get it? Ocean, deep. I'm super excited to see how quickly this ride goes up, because I'm sure it'll go up way quicker than any of us think. And I'm going to try my best to cover it in some construction videos over the course of that construction. So be sure to subscribe if you do want to keep up to date on this brand new project. And also, click here if you want to find out what that ride is going to be. We actually know what it's going to be now. So if you want to know as well, watch that.